Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I am going to be showing you how I made this O-ring crop top with a little extra detailing in the front with the O-ring. So it's a pretty simple top to put together. Remember that when you are sewing the top, the seam allowance is already included, and you need to use a straight stretch stitch on your sewing machine. If you don't have that option on your sewing machine, use a zigzag stitch. It's important to use a stitch that will allow for stretch horizontally. If you're sewing your seams vertically, meaning you're just going down, you don't need a stretch stitch or a zigzag stitch. It's very important to do it horizontally because that is how the body stretches. And also, we are going to be using stretch fabric. You want to make sure that your stretch fabric has 60 to 70% stretch in it. With that being said, let's get started. Okay, so here is the size chart for the top that you're working with. Okay, so to start, I have all my pattern pieces already cut out, and I'm gonna start off with the straps because they're the quickest to do. So when you are stitching your straps or doing your straps, you want to put them right sides together lengthwise, and then you're just gonna stitch the open seam. Then you are going to use your loop turner or your bobby pin, whatever you use to turn things inside out. You're going to turn the straps inside out, and that is going to be it for the straps. Now, the next thing I am going to do is I'm going to take my two back pieces and I'm going to put them right sides together. Then I am going to pin along the lower and upper edge. Then I'm going to stitch and turn the piece inside out. Alrighty then, you guys, so you want to make sure that you do go and press that piece with an iron, especially where you stitched, so that everything is laying nice and flat. Now for the next step, you're going to take your two front pieces and put them right sides together, but you are going to sandwich your straps in between the two pieces. So over here, what you are seeing is I have my front piece and the right side of my front piece is facing up, it's facing towards me. Then I place my straps, then I'm taking my other front piece with the right side facing down, which means the wrong side is facing me. I'm putting it on top of the first front piece. Then I am going to pin my straps in place because I don't want them to move. Then what I'm doing is I'm making sure that there is a half a inch seam allowance on both sides, like so. You want to make sure that when you place your straps, you're placing them right in the middle. So to the left of your strap there should be half an inch, and then to the right of your strap there should also be half an inch. That's how you know it's placed exactly where it needs to be placed. So when I'm done, I'm pinning this in place. I'm going to stitch along the upper seam, so that would include the neckline and the armhole. And then I'm also going to stitch along the lower or bottom seam, the hem. I'm going to stitch along there. Alrighty then, so when you are doing this next part, right, you can choose to do it with the back piece or you can choose to do it with the front piece. But what I'm doing is you want one of your pieces should be turned right side out. So in my case, it is my front piece. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my front piece and I'm going to put it inside my back piece, which is turned wrong side out. So the wrong side of my back piece is on the outside, it's facing me. So I want to make sure that I'm sandwiching the front piece in between, you know, the two pieces that make the front piece, and I'm going to stitch them along the side seams. Or you can do it like the opposite way. Your back piece is turned right side out and your front piece is wrong side out, and then you put it inside. The most important thing is one of the pieces needs to be turned right side out and to be put inside. That's the most important thing. So at this point, what you're going to do is you're just going to pin everything at the side seams, right? Pin everything at the side seams. Then you are going to stitch the side seam. But when you're stitching the side seam, one of the sides needs to be stitched completely, like completely closed, and then the other side you're going to stitch it, but you're going to leave a gap, you know, whatever gap that you feel is comfortable, that you believe you can squeeze the top inside out from, that's perfect. The smaller the gap the better, but it's, you know, very risky. So I would recommend like a 1 inch gap or 1.5 inches. 2 inches, but that's a little too much. So aim for a not half an inch, aim for 1 inch or 1.5 inches. You'll be able to turn it out. Like, you're gonna have to like be very sensitive with it. So in the beginning of the video, I said that when you are stitching, right, you want to be using a zigzag stitch or a stretch stitch when you are going horizontally. So when we were doing the seams, we were doing the upper and lower edge seam, that's going horizontally because our body stretches like that. That's why I used a stretch stitch or a zigzag stitch. But for this part, now that we are stitching the side seams, you can use a normal straight stitch. You don't need to use a stretch stitch because it will never tear, because there won't be any strain on the top when you are wearing it, when you are working on this stitch. So like I said, one side completely stitch closed, the other side we're going to leave a tiny little gap to turn our top inside out. Okay, so when you're done, that little gap that I said we need to leave open, that's where you're gonna reach into the gap and then you're gonna grab the front piece. And now all you're doing is you are just pulling that front piece onto the outside, and automatically it will cause the entire top to just like flip on itself, and then all the seams that you've stitched are going to be hidden inside. So the top is going to technically be seamless, meaning that you can wear it from either side and it's lined. So that is the end. Now for the O-ring part, you're just going to put the straps in between the O-ring and then, you know, tie it like in the picture when we started. So that's it. Hopefully you found this very helpful. If there's anything you're struggling with, just message me on the Etsy app because I know that's where you bought the pattern. And that is it.